Hello. Welcome to Diversus channel. We have prepared this video, the story of the most ruthless Mongol ruler, Hulagu Khan. He was the only one who brought the apocalypse to Baghdad. I hope you like this video. We all know that the Mongols wanted to achieve their goals. They knew no boundaries. In addition to being skilled in sword fighting, they could go far beyond that. But the interesting movements of the Mongols are not limited to these. How did Hulagu Khan destroy Alamut castle? Who was Hulagu Khan? Hulagu Khan was the grandson of Genghis Khan and one of the most ruthless rulers in the history of the Mongol Empire. He is best known for his conquest of Baghdad, the capital of the Islamic Caliphate, in 1258. Hulagu was born around 1217 in modern-day Mongolia, and was part of the House of Burjigin, the ruling dynasty of the Mongol Empire. He became a great military leader and expanded his grandfather's empire into the Middle East. His rule was characterized by a strong sense of justice, often accompanied by an iron fist. He was a fierce ruler who sought to expand his kingdom through conquest and expansion, often using ruthless tactics to achieve his objectives. The sack of Baghdad, in 1258, Hulagu Khan, the grandson of Genghis Khan and founder of the Ilkhanate dynasty, invaded Baghdad, the capital of the Abbasid Caliphate. The Abbasid Caliphate was the ruling dynasty of the Islamic world at that time, and its capital city was seen as an important seat of power in the region. Hulagu led an army of Mongol warriors, which included several Chinese and Muslim allies. The Mongols reached the walls of Baghdad on January 29, 1258, and after a 2-month siege, the city fell to their forces. The attack on Baghdad was ruthless and devastating. Hulagu's forces killed hundreds of thousands of people in the city, destroyed religious and cultural sites, and caused tremendous damage to the city's infrastructure. Afterward, much of the city was left in ruins, and many of its inhabitants were enslaved or displaced. The capture of Baghdad signified the end of the Abbasid Caliphate. Hulagu declared himself ruler of Iraq and ordered the execution of the caliph Al-Musta'sim, who had failed to submit to his rule. Hulagu's victory marked the beginning of a new era in the Middle East and the end of an Islamic Golden Age. Legacy of Hulagu Khan. Hulagu Khan is remembered as one of the most ruthless Mughal rulers in history. He is remembered for his brutal and swift invasion of Baghdad, which resulted in the slaughter of tens of thousands of innocent civilians and the downfall of the Abbasid Caliphate. His legacy is also tied to the religious persecution of Muslims and non-Muslims alike. Though his invasion was a dark and terrible chapter in Islamic history, it also allowed for the rise of the Ilkhanate, a Mongol dynasty that ruled over Persia and Iraq until 1335. The Ilkhanate ushered in an era of religious tolerance and cultural exchange between the Persian and Mongol cultures, which still has an influence on modern Iran today. Hulagu Khan's legacy also lives on through his descendants. He had 5 sons, each of whom went on to become powerful leaders in their own right. His eldest son, Ghazan, would go on to convert to Islam and become a powerful ruler in the Ilkhanate. His other sons would go on to become important leaders in the region, ruling over much of what is now Iran, Iraq, Syria, and Turkey. Though Hulagu Khan will always be remembered for his brutal conquest of Baghdad, his legacy has lived on in many positive ways. He was a leader who opened up new cultural and religious avenues, allowing for a period of exchange that is still felt today. The death of Caliph Al-Musta'sim. The fall of Baghdad was not without its consequences, and one of the most tragic was the death of Caliph Al-Musta'sim. He was the last of the Abbasid caliphs, having inherited the title from his father. According to contemporary accounts, Al-Musta'sim was captured by Hulagu Khan's forces and taken before the conqueror himself. When asked to submit to Mongol authority, Al-Musta'sim reportedly refused, insisting that he was a religious leader, not a military one. Hulagu Khan was unconvinced, and ordered the caliph to be rolled up in a carpet and trampled by horses. This gruesome fate marked the end of Al-Musta'sim and of Abbasid rule in Baghdad. The sack of Baghdad had devastating effects for the city and its inhabitants, but it also ushered in a new era of Mongol rule. With his victory over the caliph, Hulagu Khan had secured an unassailable position as one of the most powerful rulers in the region. Though his reign was relatively short, it would have a lasting impact on the history of Baghdad and the Middle East as a whole. Aftermath of the sack of Baghdad. The aftermath of the sack of Baghdad was devastating. Hulagu Khan and his army ransacked and destroyed large parts of the city. The survivors of the attack were scattered across the region, and many sought refuge in nearby cities such as Mosul and Damascus. The death toll from the attack was estimated to be between 100,000 and 200,000 people. This was a huge blow to the Abbasid Caliphate, which had held sway in the region since 750 AD. The Mongol Empire, however, continued to expand throughout the Middle East and Central Asia. Hulagu Khan's forces went on to sack other cities including Aleppo, Damascus, and Jerusalem. His army would eventually establish the Ilkhanate, a breakaway state from the Mongol Empire which lasted until 1335 AD. The sack of Baghdad has been described as one of the greatest catastrophes in Islamic history. It weakened the power of the Abbasid Caliphate, which had previously been a major center of power in the Middle East and North Africa. The destruction caused by Hulagu Khan's invasion also had long-term consequences for the region. Iraq never fully recovered from the devastation, and its subsequent rulers were not able to regain its previous level of prosperity. In addition, Hulagu Khan's conquest also marked a turning point in Muslim-Mongol relations. The Mongols were viewed with distrust by many Muslims, who saw them as invaders and oppressors. This attitude towards the Mongols endured for centuries after Hulagu Khan's invasion. Overall, the sack of Baghdad by Hulagu Khan had a profound impact on the region, leading to long-lasting consequences that are still felt today. To get other undiscovered secrets, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like the video and share it with your friends. Thank you.